What is a third culture kid? It's about time I make this video. A TCK is someone who grew up in a culture different from their parents' cultures. It's not just someone who has 3 cultures or moved to 5 different countries when they were a kid or has parents from different cultures. I'm gonna break it down for you. Take a look at this simple diagram by Ruth Van Recken. You have 3 circles. One is your home culture, which is where your parents are from. The other is your host culture, which is where you grew up. And if there's a difference between these 2 circles, you become the third culture, which is the one in between. The third culture is the one that possesses parts of each of the other cultures but doesn't fully belong in either. This is where the third culture kid experience comes from. Now, there's some important criteria when it comes to defining who is a third culture kid. One is that you grew up between 2 or more cultures. It doesn't have to be 4, 5, 6, 7. Then culture isn't just limited to country. Culture can be religion, ethnicity, states, caste. Even within one country, you can have different cultures. And finally, the TCK experience is defined within the age range of 0 to 18, meaning your developmental years. So if you grew up in the same place where your parents are from as well, and then at age 18, you left and moved around the world, you wouldn't be a third culture kid, you'd be a third culture adult, as the authors have defined it. And the reason why this distinction is important is because the impact that this experience has on an adult versus a kid is very different. Some people think that third culture kids are only people who moved to different countries when they were a kid, but this is a little outdated and focuses on the traditional TCKs. And the traditional TCKs that were first studied were military kids, expat kids, diplomat kids, and missionary kids. Now the term has been adapted to be inclusive of many more different stories and backgrounds, such as children of immigrants, children of refugees, biracial kids, mixed kids, educational TCKs. The authors Ruth Van Recken and David Pollock, who popularized the term, created a new term called cross-cultural kids as the all-encompassing umbrella term to cover everyone. But I don't use this term personally. I use third culture kids. I think it's cooler, and I think what cooler is what sticks, and that's important. And secondly, I think this term third culture kid still defines everything the same way. Being a third culture kid is ultimately an experience. It's not just a set of these criteria. It's the experience of not knowing exactly where you fit in. It's feeling like you're from everywhere but belong nowhere. I also see the TCK experience as a spectrum. On one hand, you have people who are mixed with 7 cultures and feel very lost, like me, for example. And then on the other hand, you have people who are mixed with 2 cultures and have a general sense of where home is. Why has this word been created and why is it important? Well, this unique experience shapes us. It shapes people to be adaptable, shapes people to be open-minded to different ideas, empathetic to different perspectives and worldviews. On the other hand, TCKs often feel rootless, they feel restless, they might have unresolved grief, loneliness is common, there might be depression. There's a lot to talk about in this topic, and this big blue book covers it all. If you're asking yourself, am I a TCK? I made a simple quiz which you can take to figure it out, and the link is in the bio. And if you are a TCK and want to meet others like you, I created a club. You can fill out the application in our bio, and we'll be excited to welcome you home.